What's up, everybody? Hey, if you're like me, you're probably itching to go back to Mexico, or anywhere for that matter. And that itch is kind of hard to get to. It's almost impossible to scratch. But you know, it's been about coming up on 5 months since the last time I traveled to Mexico. And I tell you, I am really jonesing to get back there. In today's video, I'm going to explain why I miss Mexico so much. So what is it I miss about Mexico the most? Many things, but you know, I'll start with its diversity. It's diverse in many ways. In particular, the weather. The weather. For example, here in California, right now, it is hot as dickens. It's early morning currently, but it can get consistently over 100 degrees daily. So yeah, not too comfortable. I know that when we get into the hot summer months here in California, I can go to Mexico in June, July, August, and I'll get their rainy seasons. For example, in Guadalajara and Aguascalientes, I can pretty much count on a nice rain in the evening. Sometimes it's a light rain, sometimes it's torrential, but it keeps the temperature down and it's quite pleasing. You don't need a weatherman to tell you what's going to happen in June, July, August in central Mexico. And then when it's freezing cold here in December, January, February, I go to Mexico. I go to the coastal areas where the warm sun and tropical air is so delicious.
Cool job.
Even the food is diverse in Mexico. If you're a fan of mole, how it's made changes from Oaxaca to the Yucatan, from being rich chili red to dark chocolate brown, and the famous white poblano mole in Puebla. Just one of many, many examples of food diversity in Mexico. All right, here is something that you've got to check out. You see that? 104, yes, you saw it correctly. I really miss Mexico's affordability. I could have never traveled for a year and a half anywhere else but Mexico because, you know, 20 to 1 on the dollar exchange rate. Airfare, of course, is my biggest ticket, the most expensive item that I have to buy. Accommodations can be expensive, but you can find pretty good hotel rates in Mexico. Food is delicious. But you know, if you hang out in the tourist zone, you're gonna spend American dollars. You're gonna spend American rates. But if you walk 2 or 3 blocks out of the central historic area in any city, it's gonna be about $1 to $6. Another thing that I miss about Mexico is the exploration exercise. You know, when I'm out and about, I can walk 4 miles, easy, just exploring. Before I took myself on this adventure, I never walked this much in my life. And yes, at home, I exercise as much as I can. But in Mexico, man, there's nothing like that 4-hour exploration walk. I truly enjoy it. And at home, boy, if I can steal a title from Pink Floyd, if I could, I'm becoming comfortably numb. You know, you stay at home for so long, I don't know, maybe I can go out and find work. Yeah, there's so much more that I miss about Mexico. I could go on and on, but the bottom line is the people. Let's see, where do I start with the people? You know, they're so patriotic. I miss that. I miss that here in the United States. We are no longer patriotic. There's so many people that actually hate our country. And I guess it's not for me to understand. But it sure is refreshing when I go to Mexico and I see this fly that just landed on my lens. Get out of here. It's so refreshing to see, going to the center square, and they've got these kids performing, and all they're doing, they're saluting their country. They really love it. It's no wonder why they want to show it off so much to us gringos. There are dishonorable people in every country, anywhere you go. But in Mexico, I don't know, I've seemed to encounter it so much in Mexico. I've got so many stories, but I'm gonna spell out just a few for you. This is the kind of people that you can encounter in Mexico. So I'm in Acapulco. I went to the bank and I went to the ATM. I took out a sizable amount of money. Went to the Zocalo and had my shoes shined. And I sat on, I don't know why I did it, but I sat on the little portfolio, the little envelope that I had with my money. Got my shoes signed, got up and walked away. And I didn't get far, but I turned around and I realized, oh my goodness, I just got up and that money's gone. I know it. So I went back, I spotted my shoe shine guy, and he saw me coming. Apparently, he saw it too late. He didn't know where I went, but he collected my money, didn't take 1 peso from the envelope, but he stuffed it underneath some newspapers of his so nobody else would see it. I was so shocked. It would have been easy for him to say, no, I didn't see an envelope. That's the kind of people most people are in Mexico. A while back, I was on a date. We walked into a little bar, kind of a beach bar, during the day, and I was short on money. She knew, and it wasn't a problem. But I wanted to make sure I wasn't ordering any beers that were way too expensive for my budget. So I asked the waiter, how much are your beers here? And he wouldn't give me an answer. He kept looking at me and going off on a different subject. And when he walked away, I'm not sure that I ordered a beer or not. I asked her, what the hell went on there? And she says, Andy, he's trying to protect your honor in front of me. You don't ask a waiter how much a beer is because you don't want your date knowing that you don't have the funds to buy a beer. So yeah, I found that very interesting that this guy that I never met in my life was trying to protect my manly honor. So I don't know if in past videos I may have mentioned that I have a godson, and his mother, my comadre, there was an event that there was a guy that had done me wrong in Mexico. See, they do exist in Mexico. So when I saw her next, she had already heard about it. And she asked me, she approached me, she says, Andy, I know this guy. How do you want me to deal with it? How do you want me to approach this? She doesn't speak any English, so this was all in Spanish. And I wasn't really quite sure what she's talking about. So I turned to my Acapulco brother friend and I asked him, what does she mean? Well, she's pretty straightforward. Do you want her to talk to him, hurt him, or otherwise? Yeah, she might be sweet, pretty with a Hollywood smile, but I wouldn't put it past her. She seemed very capable at the moment to protect her gringo friend. So yeah, they're very honorable people. By the way, I didn't ask her to protect my honor in any way, so. One year, I decided to drop in on my friends unannounced. I caught a plane, I show up, and learned that all my friends were in Mexico City. They had left town. So there was one family member that was left behind, and he felt so bad. And then he finds out it's my birthday. Now, during this time, I stayed in a hotel up on a hill. You gotta know, if this was a beach town, it's hot, it's humid. This guy, without transportation, walked up this hill. It might be probably a mile, but it is uphill and it is humid. I hear a knock on the door. I open the door and he is drenched in sweat. Andy, we're so sorry. The family's not here to spend with you on your birthday. I just walked up to greet you and welcome you and say happy birthday. Who does that? That's how they work. That's how they roll. I need to learn how to say that in Spanish. That's how I roll. In 1995, I thought to myself, I'm going to go out and secure myself a job. My friends all told me, you need to go out to the Princess Hotel. They hire gringos out there. So I don't know what kind of skills or talents that you could sell them on, but go out there. In fact, one of them made some phone calls and secured an interview for me. I didn't have money for a taxi. I didn't have any transportation other than the public busing system. So I hop on a bus. Mind you, I'm in a nice shirt and tie, and this bus is packed. The Princess Hotel is about 20, 30, maybe even 40 minutes outside of town. And this bus was packed full of the local natives. And you know me by now, I'm a gentleman. So 2 times during that trip, I got up and offered my seat to a lady. Half the bus was full of students, all dressed in their student uniforms. I don't know if they were high school, college, or what. But this one young lady was watching me do this, and she must have been thinking, wow, look at this gringo on a bus with us Mexicans in a tie, and he's giving up his seat anytime he needs to. It was time for her to get off the bus, and she walks up to me, and she places her hand on my heart. Didn't say a word, just looked at me, and I know she was thinking, bless you, bless your heart, and got off the bus. I was so touched, it almost brought me to tears. And the funny thing about it is when I got to when I collected my senses, I got to the next bus station, I realized, wow, that was my stop where she got off. So I made a U-turn and I actually looked around for her, but maybe a missed opportunity. I had a event scheduled for September, and that has now been canceled. I really don't have a date set for the next time that I'll be traveling to Mexico, but the channel will continue. It just, it's going to take a while. My subscribers continue to climb. I've lost some generous Patreon members, and I understand that. You pay for something you expect. The expectation was a video a week, and now it's turned out to be video every 2-3 weeks. And you know what? Probably the channel might be paused until I do get back to Mexico. September, October, July, who knows what's going to happen in the near future.